Somnath Hore is one of the most significant modernists that we have in Indian art from Bengal, and even amidst the sea of artists from Bengal who have responded to the strife and misery and suffering they saw all around them, and specifically the unrest in society, Somnath Hore stands head and shoulders above so many artists in the kind of consistent engagement that he had with human suffering. And the famine somehow never left his psyche. It just seemed to continually impact everything he did, and it specifically emerged in the imagery of what he called the wound, of how he saw the suffering psyche expressed through a very brief image. He had a fairly characteristic image, the figure that many have called the catastrophe-ridden figure. He sketched these skeletal images, very prominent forehead and chin and stick-like limbs that he gave to them, that reappeared in his drawings and his prints. And it was only in the 1980s or so, when he was well over 50, that he switched to sculpture. When he took to sculpture, which happened almost accidentally, what he created were extraordinarily small, delicate images that were able to hold within this one image this large narrative of suffering, of strife, that the figure seems to completely internalize. And he can express sorrow in a way few artists have been able to. This Untitled Mother and Child from the 1980s is a remarkable instance of what Somnath Hore achieved in his sculpture. The mother and child is usually a scene of maternal joy, of the mother enjoying this little child, this infant, held in her lap or in her arms, and the child looks up at her, and it is this tableau of plenitude, of wellness and even beauty. It's almost like he cannot escape the constant context of suffering that's almost surrounding him at all times. The mother has fallen to the ground. She's on her back. Her arms are stretched out and her fingers are splayed, and her head is bent to a side. And with some anxiety, the viewer wonders, is she alive? Is she dead? While the infant climbs over her body, trying to rouse her, to wake her. It's an image of extreme pathos, of this most delicate evocation of the anxiety the little infant might feel. And as an artist, and in terms of just his form, Hore simply excels by not creating this very rounded sculpture, which is what most sculptors do, specifically given how bronze works, but he creates these concave surfaces. They're open-ended, so her arms are these open cut tubes that they resemble, and you only see her head, which is slumped to a side. And in this brief image, there is so much context built with, has she fallen dead out of hunger? Is it poverty? Has she been attacked? Is she dead? What will happen to the child? And there is a sheer range of emotions that the artist is able to convey through this terse single image.